We have 4 system picks in Major League Baseball for today, Friday, April 14th. Are you ready to find out what they are? Stay tuned for the entire video, my friend. Yesterday, my top pick by far was the Reds as slight favorites against the Phillies, and they came up with a nice 6-2 victory. I also had a couple of leans on two big underdogs, the Red Sox in Tampa, who lost, and the Pirates in St. Louis, who won. So great night overall. That being said, let's get started discussing today's slate of baseball games. System pick number 1 goes to the Detroit Tigers at home against the San Francisco Giants. Do I like this pick enough to bet? Let's dig deeper. The system backing Detroit is called the snapped losing streak number 1, which goes like this. Suppose a team won its previous game after losing at least 6 in a row. They are now facing a different opponent, and their moneyline today is smaller than plus 175 in American format, which equates to 2.75 in decimal odds. In that case, bet that team to win a second consecutive game. In the current case, the Tigers went through a bad 6-game losing skid before beating the Blue Jays last night. Since Detroit is indeed facing a different opponent, and their plus 125 money line is in fact smaller than the plus 175 threshold I mentioned earlier, then according to the rules of this betting system, we should place a wager on the Tigers. However, I will consider it a lean only. The main reason is the starting pitcher duel, where Sean Manaea is much more reliable than Joey Wentz. The latter did a fine job last year, but he is off to an ugly start in 2023. He has allowed 8 runs in 7 innings, along with just 3 Ks and 5 walks. For this reason, I will grade this potential play as an unofficial pick. System pick number 2 goes to the Minnesota Twins as pretty big underdogs in New York. This time, let me grade it as a stay away. Nestor Cortes is such a dominant force. I don't feel comfortable fading him, especially at home. He has surrendered 2 runs or fewer in 8 starts in a row if you go back to last year. Also, I don't see the Yankees taking the Twins lightly since Minnesota is off to a great 9-4 start and they will want to quickly avenge yesterday's debacle. So even though the blowout number 1 system is recommending to grab Minnesota, I don't like this play at all. After a very quick break, let's dive into the system picks number 3 and 4. What is the third MLB system pick for today? Remember that yesterday we took the Reds due to a betting angle called the Big Upset number 2. Today, that same system points in the direction of the Toronto Blue Jays at plus 125 odds or 2.25 in decimal. This time, I like it enough to place a bet, and this was the second betting tip I shared this morning on mjpicks.com for those of you who wanted to receive all of my picks across all sports. I know this sounds like a scary bet, given Tampa's amazing start to the season, but the Rays' momentum may get broken by the fact they are now playing on the road after 7 home games in a row. Also, I don't want to downplay the historic start by the Rays, but take a look at the opponents they faced: Detroit, Washington, Oakland, and Boston. 3 out of 4 teams were projected to be among the worst teams in baseball, and the Red Sox are expected to be an okay team. Toronto is definitely the best team Tampa has faced this year. The bet also feels uneasy when you look at the starting pitchers. Drew Rasmussen has yet to allow a run in any of his first 2 starts, but keep in mind he faced the Ace and the Nationals. It remains a great accomplishment, but I have this strong feeling he could be in for a tough outing against Toronto. Meanwhile, Jose Berrios has endured a poor start to the season, a very poor one. Just like I argued that Corbin Burnes would bounce back last Tuesday after 2 bad performances, I believe Berrios will step it up today. I'm taking the Jays to end Tampa's perfect season tonight. Finally, system pick number 4, which is backed by the blowout number 2 strategy, goes to the Atlanta Braves in Kansas City. The Royals hold a 1-6 record at home this year, while the Braves present a 5-1 record on the road. Atlanta has the much superior roster. So why are the Braves only slightly favored in this game? A possible answer comes from the pitching matchup. Charlie Morton is getting older, and he posted weaker stats than his counterpart last year, Brady Singer. Still, that does not convince me to stay off Atlanta in this matchup, and for that reason, I am making the Braves an official pick for today. In summary, for April 14, we have 2 official picks: the Blue Jays to upset the Rays and the Braves to get the W in KC. We also have a lean on the Detroit Tigers at positive odds at home against the Giants, and I opted to avoid the Twins in New York. By the way, I also make picks on totals, the first 5 innings, and some occasional player prop bets in baseball. If you would like to get those plays as well, and perhaps even my picks across all of the other sports, do not hesitate to join the large number of members on mjpicks.com. It will be a pleasure to send you the picks every day directly in your mailbox. I'm Professor MJ. I'll see you again next Monday, my friend.